So we're starting DAF Lamed Heyom and Aleph, one line down. So we learned in the Mishnah that anytime a almana wants to collect her ksuba from the Yarshim, she's required to swear. And the reason why she's required to swear is because we're concerned she may have collected her ksuba already. So in order to collect from the Yarshim again, she has to make a shvuah that saying that she never collected the ksuba. But for some reason, the Chacham instituted that they stopped allowing her to swear, and they not allow her to collect ksuba at all. Even if they didn't let her swear, and as subsequent ksuba and takana that she would make a neder and collect it anyways. So it says the Gemara. Why did they stop allowing her to swear? Nimnu mashbia, my taima. What is the reason that they stopped allowing her to swear? Ilaim mishum de Rav Kahana is because of the case of Rav Kahana. Dam Rav Kahana, Amila, Amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Rav. Ma'isa b'adamecha. There was a story with an individual, B'sheni B'Tziris, during the years of famine. Shehifkid dinar zahav eitz la'almana. He placed a dinar zahav. He gave it as a pikadon to this woman to watch. Now, almana, she was to watch this pikadon, this dinar. V'nichai b'kad shel kamacha. She placed this coin into her flour box to store it in the flour to keep it safe in the flour. V'afasei b'pas, and then she baked bread. V'nasnasei la'ani, and she gave this bread that had this dinar zahav, this golden coin, inside to an ani. Liyamim ba bal hadinar. After a couple of days, the owner of this coin came back to the lady to demand his coin back. Va'omar la, and he told her, Havli dinari, give me my dinar. Amrlei, so she told him, Yehena samha mavas be'echad mi baneha shel isa isha. The poison of death should be in one of the children of this lady. She was referring to herself. If I benefited at all from your dinner, she was saying that it's lost, it's no longer here, but I didn't benefit, I definitely didn't use it. It's gone, it's never. And we know the halacha is by Shem Rechinam, someone who is an oinus, it's a gneva v'aveda, right? Gets lost or it gets stolen. A Shem Rechinam would not be required to pay. So she was saying, I'm patur from paying because I didn't benefit from it. It's lost, it's gone, so I'm not required to pay you. Amru, it was not so long after this that she made the shvuah that one of her children actually died. When the Chaim heard about this story, Amru, what is this? How someone who swears truthfully, such a scenario occurs, it comes to him, the oynish comes to him so fast. Someone who swears falsely, and therefore they instituted that there should no longer be any shvuas because they saw how chamer it is and how people could make mistakes about it. So therefore they stopped letting people swear. My time Yanish. So why did she get punished? At the end of the day, she didn't benefit from it, right? She gave it to she didn't steal it, she didn't do anything with it, she didn't benefit, she didn't make any money on it. And it's the Gemara, because the amount of dough in the bread that was in place, the coin was in place of, so she benefited from that amount of dough that was there. So you see, even though there was such a small, minute amount of dough that she benefited from it, but there was a benefit. So it was, even though it was by accident. Right, but you see the Chaim of the situation. So the Chaim stopped letting them swear.
What's the benefit?
There was a small amount of dough.
Displaced space.
The space, that space.
They don't eat the space.
No, but she now has more dough in her next challah.
More flour.
She has more flour. She has more dough.
Okay.
Let's say she cuts off
not for the recipient.
Right, for her. Her next dough. Right, he got less. But for her next dough, her next challah that she's going to bake, she's got a little bit more dough to put in her next challah.
Hard to believe someone's story. I needed dough. It's possible to miss
the flour. Miss the coin. So says the Gemara. So what it means? She swore truthfully. She didn't swear truthfully. She lied because it really happened. It wasn't a truthful shua. And so the Gemara kamish nishba be'emes. It's as if she swore truthfully. So therefore, that's why the Chacham did not let her be able to swear anymore. If this is the concern that there may be someone that's really trying to swear truthfully but may accidentally be swearing falsely, that's why they stopped allowing people to make shvuos. So how come an almana was the only person that we stopped allowing her to make shvuah? I feel a grusha nami. A divorcee should also not be allowed to swear when she has to collect her ksuba, right? Because she also may make a shvuah when she doesn't really realize that she may have made a mistake. Alama Amr Abzera, why did Abzera say Amr Shmuel Loishanu Ela Almana Av Grusha Mashbin Oisai? That why does Shmuel say that the halacha that we do not let them swear is only by an almana, but a divorcee then we would allow her to swear. And it's the Gemara, Almana Shiny. Almana is different. Because she is taking care of the Yisayimim, the children, and she really is not allowed to benefit from the estate of her late husband. She's only allowed to collect her ksuba, but the state could pay for anything that the Yisayimim need. So as the fact, maybe inadvertently, while she's taking care of the children, or she may take some extra money for herself because she feels she's justified in taking this money because she's taking care of the children. So she's sort of like a caretaker or an apotropis of these children's estate. So she may take some money in between. And when she gets to make the shvuah, they're going to say, did you take ksuba? She said, no, I didn't take ksuba. But since she was not allowed to take any money while she was raising the children, that really constitutes payment for her ksuba. Any extra money she takes is really part of her ksuba. She gets no money, maybe mezainis, she doesn't get any money. If she takes even $100 out of the ksuba, she really is not allowed to take that money, and that will be knocked off her the final cheshbon of her ksuba, of how much she gets. And she thinks that she's allowed to take that money, so she makes a shvuah that she didn't get anything when really she did, and then we'll have a problem of her making a shvuah b'sheker. So therefore the Chaim did not allow a money, whereas a grusha who's not taking care of the Yisayimim, there we wouldn't have the concern, and we still require her to swear. Omer Rav Yehuda, Omer Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba. Rav and Shmuel, the Amri Tarvayu, Rav and Shmuel both say, Lo Yishana El Bezdin. This halacha that we did not allow an almana to swear is only in Bezdin. But outside of Bezdin, we do allow her to swear. And the reason for that is that inside of Bezdin is a shvuah deraisa. She also holds a sefer Torah or maybe tefillin, right? And it's a shvuah deraisa. Whereas outside of Bezdin, it's only shvuah derabanan. So the einish that may come as a result of swearing falsely by a shvuah derabanan is not as chomer as a shvuah that you would swear by a shvuah deraisa. So therefore, shvuah derabanan, we allowed her to swear. Eini, is that so? Rav did not collect ksubas for an almanos. When an almana would come to him trying to collect the ksubah, he would not allow them to collect because he couldn't make them make a shvuah. And if Rav says that you are allowed to make a shvuah outside of Bezdin, why didn't he just let them make shvuahs outside of Bezdin? Says the more kasha. It's a question. In Surya, this is how they learned the brisa, as we just learned. Ben Arda, they learned it differently. Omer Rav Yehuda, Omer Shmuel. Rav Yehuda said in the name of Shmuel. He only said in the name of Shmuel. Lo yishana ela bebezdin. This halacha in the Mishnah only applies while they're in Bezdin. But outside of Bezdin, you are allowed to make them swear. The Rav Omar, Rav says, Rav says even outside of Bezdin, you are not allowed to make them swear, even by shvuah derabanan. Rav Letaime, the Rav Lemagbi Ksuba Lar Malasa. Rav goes according to his reasonings that he would not collect Ksuba for an Almana because he had no option, he had no way to allow her to collect from the Ksuba. Ask the Gemara, why doesn't Rav allow her to make a neder? Like we learned in the Mishnah that you were allowed to make nedarim and make this neder and let her collect the Ksuba. Even though he can't make a shvuah, not in Bezdin and not outside of Bezdin, but at least let her make a neder. And so the Gemara, B'shani de Rav Kili Nidari. In the years of Rav, people would make nedarim very easily, and they would break them. They weren't so chomer in people's eyes, and therefore he would not rely on a neder for a person to make a truthful neder, and therefore he didn't let them collect in any way. The Gemara now is going to go on to a couple of stories where ladies tried to collect their ksuba and came to the Rabbanim, and they would not allow them. This woman came in front of Rav Huna. Omar Law. He told her she wanted to collect her ksuba. So Amar, he told her, "My avidlech, what should I do for you?" The Rav lemagbi ksuba lar malasa. Rav would not collect ksubas for widows. I can't do anything for you. Amar lei, so she told him, "Midi hu taima." The only reason why Rav does not allow any people to collect the ksuba, ela dilma nakte midi miksubase, because maybe I may have taken something from a ksuba. She was swearing in the name of Hashem, if I benefited at all from my ksuba. So she made a shvuah. She, without being told by the Bezdin to make a shvuah, she jumped up and she made a shvuah. Rav Huna said, "Moida Rav kafetzas." Rav is moida when a person who is she by her own initiative she makes the shvuah. So Rav maskim that she would have the ability to collect her ksuba, because we only don't allow people to make the ksuba because of the chaimer. But we all agree that if she did make the shvuah, we would consider it binding and we would allow her to collect her ksuba.
So it's a well-known kunz. I mean, obviously she knew about it. Other women knew about it.
You go to DAF Yemis, you not know it. If someone has a problem, you tell them about it.
If she knew about it, other people probably knew, right?
Well, there's a next story next. Obviously didn't know about it. The next story in the Gemara.
Just a point of clarity. If
Sure.
she takes a little bit of the ksuba, she puzzles the ksuba?
No, but she has to say that she got that amount. Meaning, if let's say she owes $20,000 in ksuba, and she took $100, she has to say, I'm really owed $19,900. She can't swear I didn't get any ksuba because she got $100 of her ksuba.
Why would she swear if it's just that amount of money? Because it could be a larger amount.
What do you mean? Why would she swear? In which case?
Why would if she just took $100?
Right.
Why wouldn't she make the shula?
Why shouldn't she say only got 19? Well, she could, but she doesn't realize that ksuba gets off her, that she's not allowed to swear that. I mean, she doesn't realize the $100 she took 2 years ago while she took the kids out to eat. She's not aware. She's not aware that that's counted. She thinks that I was taking care of the kids anyway, so I deserve to buy myself a Yom Tov dress. Right, I was taking the kids all to buy Yom Tov, and I had to deal with them, buying new suits for Yom Tov, right? So I can get myself a new dress also for Yom Tov, right? So she may have bought herself that. She's not allowed to do that. So whatever the case is where she was not allowed, I don't know exactly what the rules, what she's allowed to, what she's not allowed to, but in any case where she was not allowed to take money, she may have mattered herself to take that money, and that gets knocked off her ksuba, the original cheshbon.
Could you just review quickly
Sure.
the neder and shavua?
What's the difference?
Yeah, one's on an object, one's on a action. But
well, yeah, the neder is that she's not really making a neder. She's just saying that she's answering herself a neder, meaning a shvua, she's making a shvua right now, and if she's lying right now, it's aser, right? A neder is she's saying, if I really took it, then all of the peiros ba'olam should be aser me, like whatever she's going to make it aser. If I really took something, then all fruits should be aser to me. And then only when she goes to eat the fruits will she be over her neder, meaning as long as she won't eat the fruit, nothing's going to happen to her. Right? She makes a neder, so as long as she doesn't eat fruits, that's up to her. And then it's a neder. But a shvua, it's a shvua deraisa. She's saying that she's making a shvua, she didn't make it, and then it comes a shvua sheker. She lied at the time of the shvua. If she makes a neder, it's not going to have a problem until she eats. I don't exactly know why. Maybe it's more kuladik a neder than a shvua. It could be that's really what it is. Says the Gemara another story. There's another woman who came to Rabbi Bar Huna. Omer Allah, so he told her, "My ovid lech, what should I do for you?" The Rav loy mabi ksuba l'armalasa. Rav would not collect ksubas for a widow. V'abamari loy mabi ksuba l'armalasa, and Abimari also would not collect the ksuba for almana. Omer lei, so she told him, "Okay, have li mizaynai. So now give me mizaynis, right?" She says, "Okay, you're not going to give me ksuba, so at least I want to get paid for my food, right?" An almana gets mizaynis. Omar law, so he tells her, "Mizayni nami leslich." You don't get mizaynis either now. Why? The Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel. Yehuda said the name of Shmuel. Hatevas ksubasa. Bezdin ein lo mezainis. If she goes to demand her ksuba to get paid, she doesn't get mezainis anymore. And the reason for that is that a widow gets her mezainis and paid for because we say as a result of the covet for her deceased husband, she's not getting married, so she's sort of like still seeing herself as married to him. So therefore, the state will pay for her mezainis. But once she goes to claim the ksuba, because now she wants her lump sum to go get married and have her money. So she's showing that she doesn't care, she's not really concerned of the covet of the mace. So therefore, the estate no longer will pay for her mezainis.
Cutting off her ties also.
Right, she's cutting her ties. So she doesn't get any more. So this lady, once she demanded her ksuba, so she has cut off her ties. She no longer deserves to get the mezainis. So now she's stuck. She can't get her ksuba anymore because we can't be good with the ksuba, and she can't get her mezainis because she already demanded her ksuba. So she was very upset about this. So Omer Lei, she gives him a curse. Your chair should overturn. She was cursing him that he should die. Obviously, you were machmir me like 2 man amrim. You're machmir like 1 man amrim that I can't collect the ksuba, and you're machmir like another man amar that I can't get my mezainis anymore. So the people who were there wanted to make the curse come out in the literal terms of when he used the word chair. So hafchul kursei v'tartzua. They flipped over his chair and they picked it up again, so that the curse should be neskayim in an object and not really happen to Rav Yehuda. Was Rabbi Bar Huna. And even so, he wasn't saved from sicknesses coming to her. And there was some still kiyum happening of the curse. Omer le Rav Yehuda le Rav Yirmiyah Bira. Rav Yehuda tells Rav Yirmiyah Bira. Now, Rav Yirmiyah Bira was actually, we remember from yesterday's DAF, he was the person whose son-in-law was making issues with the get over there, where they had to stuff their ears with gourds in order so they kept on being vat of the get. So I believe it's the same person. But this is the father. This is Rabbi Yirmiyah. Rav Yehuda tells him, Adra bebezdin, you should make a neder in a bezdin, va'ashba chutz lebezdin, and make her make a shvua out of bezdin. Because in the past cases we weren't having eitzes for her because we were passing like Rav that doesn't allow either it. So he wanted that the psak should be like Shmuel. V'leisi kola v'leipul ba'adini debeina kihechi da'avid b'maisa. And he wanted the Rav Yirmiyah to do this enough times that there should be a koil go out, that this is the psak, because he wanted to pass the psak to be koiveya, that this is the halacha like Shmuel, that you are able to make a neder in bezdin, and chutz lebezdin you can make a shvua. So he wanted that he should hear back the koil. I mean, he told him to go do it, and I want to hear about this, from other sources, that this is what's happening, because I want you to do it, and it should be the halacha should be passing like that. Gufa, Amar Rabbi Zera, Amar Shmuel, Loishana Ela Almana. The halacha that we do not let her make a shvua is only by almana. Aval grusha mashbiyinaisa. That a grusha we do allow her to swear. As the Gemara of a grusha de adra loy, a grusha is not allowed to make a neder, because really the halacha is that they have to make a shvua. It was a heter of the chachamim that we allowed her because we have no option for her to make a neder. But the grusha, it was not allowed to make a neder. So the Gemara, grusha was not allowed to. There was a scenario what happened in Eretz Yisrael, and a lady seems was divorced there, and she wants to come back to Bavel to collect her ksuba from her husband's estate. So she was concerned that by the time she shows him Bavel, they're not going to have any proof of what happened. So she wanted the Bezdin in Eretz Yisrael to write her a shtar of exactly what happened, so she should have the ability to collect her ksuba once she gets back to Bavel. So this lady came with a letter from the Bezdin in Eretz Yisrael. Eich Ploinis bas Ploni. This woman, Ploinis, the daughter of Ploni, Kiblis Gita min Yada, she accepted a get from the hand of the Acha bar Heda, that her husband's name was Acha bar Heda. The Miskari Eya Mari, who's known as Eya Mari, V'nadris, and she made a neder, V'asris Peiris Sheba'olam Allah, she asserted all the Peiris in the world on herself, D'lai Kiblis Miksubasa, that she did not accept from Miksuba, Ela Glufgera Echad, one talis, V'sefer Tilim Echad, and one sefer Tilim, V'sefer Iyav, and a sefer Iyav, Umim Shalais, and the sefer Mishlei, which is referred to as Mishalim, Beluim, that were worn out. Vishamnum b'chamisha mana, and we evaluated that all this together had the worth of 5 mana. When she comes to your hands, to the Bezdin in Bavel, Hag Be'ez Ashar, collect for her the remainder that is due to her for a ksuba. So you see over here, this case was where the lady was a divorcee, and still she had the ability to make a neder. And so how come she had this ability? This was a get of Yevamin. It was a get Yevamin. Rashi explains what was the case. We know the halacha is that when a lady, her husband dies, and there are many brothers, so if one brother will give her a get, even though she will be required to have chalitza afterwards, but that get passes her on the achim. So that was the case here. She obviously had a brother-in-law in Eretz Yisrael who gave her a get. She didn't want to do chalitza, and she was coming back to collect the money from her ksuba that was due to her from her husband's estate from in Bavel. So that was the get. And as Marshal explains, that even though there is no yisaimim in this case over here, there's no real yisaimim, so there would not really be a problem of she may have mattered herself and married a heter, that she may have taken money by accident and used it for herself, and she really is due the full amount. There's no scenario in such a case. But like plug rabbanan, that since she's a widow, it's a case of widow because really she's collecting from her deceased husband's estate. She's collecting that money, so therefore they like plug rabbanan, and they allowed her to make a neder, and they didn't require her to make a shvua.
To get a get, doesn't you have to marry the brother?
No, she's getting a get yivam. It's really get the rabbanan. She's required to chalitza. That's halacha that if one brother gives a get, it passes her on the other achim.
When she gets chalitza, she gets ksuba?
After she's chalitza, yeah, sure. She just is chalitza to matter the yisur yivam.
Get is the same thing, or
though the get is not going to matter. She still is required chalitza, but it passes her on the other achim. So that was the case. She got a get the passes on the other achim. She's coming to claim the ksuba from over there. Taisus doesn't like this pshat. Taisus learns differently. Taisus learns that the case was where the brother did yibum. It was the case that her husband died. She didn't have any children. The one brother did yibum, and then he subsequently divorced her. And that the halacha is that once he marries her with a yibum, then the halacha, the way to get divorced is the same way as a regular woman, and she gets a regular get, and then she would not be required to do chalitza. So that was the case. But the halacha is that we know that the ksuba of this woman who got divorced, who got married to her brother-in-law with Yibum, and then subsequently got divorced, her ksuba is coming from her original husband's estate. The second brother is not required to pay for her ksuba, because the ksuba was originally of the first brother. So she was coming to claim money from her original husband's estate, really b'toyres that she was a widow, so she was really an almana, so she was coming to collect that money over there. She was divorced from her brother-in-law, so that's why she was considered divorced, and that's why the Bezdin Raizel sent her a letter that she was divorced, but she was going to collect that original money.
So once she does give him with her new husband, right? They're married for 30 years.
Right.
And she gets divorced, the first estate has to give her the
money. Right.
So you have to keep money in there forever?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what happens if there's no money left. The Gemara talks about it. If there's no money left in the state, if she's required, he's not required, that's the thing. So, so the reason over here why she would still make a shvuah, because we're concerned that since she was married to this other brother for such a long time, she may have martyred herself that since this brother got the whole estate, he really owns all the money over there. So, and she's taking care of him, so she might also martyr herself and take some money from her original husband's estate. So again, she would be required to make a neder. Says the Gemara, Hiskin Rabbi Gamliel Hazakin Shetei Neder. So Gamliel was masakin, and since we cannot allow her to make shvuas anymore, we will allow her to make a neder. Says Rav Huna, this halacha that we allow her to make a neder is only if she had not gotten married to a new husband after her first husband died. But if she already got married, then we will not allow her to make a neder. Says the Gemara, Nisis my time. What's the reason that we don't let her make a neder once she gets married to her second husband? The mefer labal, because the halacha is that if a lady makes a neder, her husband has the ability to be made for it, and after her neder. So what's going to happen? We're going to make her make a neder. She's going to go to her husband and tell her husband, I made a neder. Her husband's going to be made for her, and then she's good. So she got off the money without doing anything. She got out of the whole problem. Says the Gemara, Kiloinis is nami. Maybe you should be concerned that even if she'll make a neder before she gets married, and then once she gets married, nasva made for labal. The husband will be made for her nedarim that she came into the marriage with. Says the Gemara, ain't a baal made for bekaidmin. We know the halacha is that a baal does not have the ability to be made for nedarim that his wife had made prior to their marriage. Only nedarim that the lady made after they got married, that's the ones the baal can be made for. But anything that she came into the marriage with, that the baal does not have an ability to be made for. So therefore, if she's not married, we could make her make a neder, and that will be fine, because that will be a binding neder, and she won't be able to get out of it. Ask the Gemara, maybe we should be concerned that she'll go to a Chacham to be matter her neder. We know you could be shayil on a neder. You could ask a Chacham to be matter. If you have a Pesach, you can matter your neder. So maybe she'll go to a Chacham to be matter it. So anytime you make a neder, how are you locking her into any binding situation? Says the Gemara, this man the Omar that allows her to make a neder holds that in order to have a chacham matter the neder for you, you have to tell him exactly the scenario and the situation and all the pratim of your neder in order for him to matter it. And therefore, once she tells him that I made a neder because her husband died and she needs to make it, the husband, of course, will not be the chacham will not matter the neder for her. So we're not concerned that she'll go to a chacham.
The husband doesn't have to have a Pesach.
Right.
He just does it.
Right.
If he wants,
right.
But
That's
the Chacham has to have a Pesach.
Right. Rav Nachman Omer, afilu nises. Even if she gets married, we're allowed to make her make a neder. Says the Gemara, nises vadi made for labal. If you nises, the husband will for sure be made for the neder. So how could Rav Nachman allow her to do that? Says the Gemara, we make her make a neder in front of more than 10 people. And the other halacha is that at least Rav Nachman holds that if you make a neder in front of 10 people, you can't be made for such a neder. The Baal does not have the ability to make for such a neder. There's no she'ela on that thing. On that neder made in many people. So therefore we're not concerned. Even after she gets married, she could make a neder, and the husband won't have the ability to be made for it. As the Gemara Meisvei, Nises Goyver Ksubasa. If she gets married, she has the ability to be Goyver Ksuba. Im Nadar, if she made the neder. My love, what's the case we're talking about? Nadar Hashta, that she made a neder after she got married, and that would be kasha on the other man the Omer. This would be really a raya to Rav Nachman that she has that ability, and a kasha on the other man the Omer. And the Gemara loy the nadar mi kara. She made a neder previously. If she got married, she could make a neder at that point and go ksubasai, and that would be right of Nachman. Hence the Gemara Tanahi, Tanaim. Dikal man Omar neder shehuder berabim yesh le'afara. There's one man Omar that holds, which is the first man Omar, that you cannot, a neder that was made berabim, you are not allowed to be mefer. Dikal man Omar ein le'afara. And Rav Nachman holds, the Rav Nachman's other man Omar, that the Tana holds that there's no afara, and therefore we would not be concerned of her making a neder after she's married, because there's no afara. If we make it berabim, it's not a problem. Ask the Gemara. When a lady is coming to be shayil on her, or any person really that's coming to be shayil on a neder, are they required to say all the circumstances and all the pratim that happened when they made the neder? Rav Nachman Omar ain't tzarich. Rav Nachman says the person's not required. Rav Papa Omar tzarich. Rav Papa says you are required to say exactly what happened at the time of the neder and all the pratim. Rav Nachman Omar ain't tzarich. Why does Rav Nachman say you're not required? Di Amrit tzarich. If you're going to require her to, or any person to say all the pratim, zimne gaiz leila dibure. Maybe she will inadvertently omit any a portion of the neder, any clauses that happen in this neder, and the Chacham will only be mefer on that which he hears. Whatever information he hears, he will be mefer based on the information he knows. But if there was a clause that was by accident omitted, he won't know that information, and he won't be able to mefer on that. And you need to know all the information beforehand. So therefore, we don't let her say anything, and we don't let her say anything, and the Chacham will know that there is information he doesn't know, and he's mefer on whatever information the neder was based upon. Rav Papa Amar Tzarech. Rav Papa requires you to say the pratim. Why? Mishum Milsa the Asura. Because maybe there's some sort of clause in there and based in there that she has to she has to know, that the Chacham has to know about prior to matering the neder. So therefore, we require them to say all the pratim, even though there may come out a scenario where she forgets something, but still because of the cases where there's an isser involved, we require her to say all the pratim of it. Tanat. If somebody marries a woman who is not allowed to be married, because we're talking about a kohen that marries a gerusha, and the kohen marries a gerusha, he becomes pasal avoda. He's not allowed to work in the Beis Hamikdash. He's not allowed to duchen. He loses a lot of statuses. So pasal achi yider hana. He's pasal from avoda until he makes a neder that he's answering himself from his wife and from all ladies that he's aser to. V'tani Allah, we learned on this. Noider v'oived noider. He makes a neder. So what happened? This fellow's a kohen, married a divorced lady who's aser to. He wants to do avoda. We say, sorry, you can't do avoda. You're married to a lady that you're not allowed to be married to. So noider. So he makes a neder right then that he's answers his wife from him and all the other ladies that he's aser to. Then he's allowed to do avoda. And then after he finishes the avoda, he's allowed to go home and then he has to give his wife a get. Right? So even though he didn't give her yet a get, he's allowed to make a neder that he's usher to his wife. He's not going to be with her anymore, and he's allowed to do avoda. As a neder, if you're going, the halach is that you're not required to say all the situation, the exact story in the scenario and the clauses that exist in part of the neder. We should be concerned that this kohen is going to go home to his city and he's going to find the chacham that he's going to say, I made a neder that I asked for my wife on me. And he's not going to explain that he's a kohen, he's not going to explain that she's a grusha, he's not going to say anything to her. Right? And the chacham is matter for him. So we should require him we should require him to divorce his wife prior to doing avoda. And so the Gemara we make her make a neder in front of 10 people, which you can't. There's no afar. You can't be shayla on such a neder. Says the Gemara, that's good according to the man that you're not allowed to have a fara on a neder that was made by Rabbi. And according to the man that holds that there is a fara, what do you do? This guy still can have a fara even if it's made by Rabbi. And it's the Gemara immediately al das Rabbim. We make a neder al das Rabbim, which means with the consent and with the intent of the Rabbim. We'll explain in a minute. The Omer Ameimar says, Hilchusa afil man the Omer neder shhuda b'Rabbim yesh lafar. Even according to the halacha even according to the man the Omer that holds that a neder that was made in the presence of a Rabbim has afara al das Rabbim ein la afara. But if it was made with the intent and the consent of the Rabbim, that has no afara. And the reason is because in order to be made for a neder, to matter a neder, you need to have a pesach. You need to have an opening where it says that if I would have known that this scenario would have came up, I would have never made the neder. But if you're making with it, that's only the person who's making the neder has the ability to have that Pesach, right? But if you're making al das Rabbim with the consent of other people, you need their das to say to say that we didn't make the neder with if such a scenario would crop up. This fellow that made the neder is not going to be able to have that. You need to get the das of everyone else, and to get all the das of everyone else to agree. You have a bunch of Jews over here agreeing to one scenario that this Pesach scenario would crop up. You can't necessarily get that with so many people. So al das Rabbim, you will never be able to have a situation where you have a Pesach, an opening to matter the neder. The hani mili, this halacha that al das Rabbim, I'm just going to get to two dots because it's really one Gemara. The hani mili l'davar hashus. This halacha that al das Rabbim with the consent of Rabbim, you guys know how far is only when it's a midah derashus, when it's you don't necessarily need to do it. Al l'davar mitzvah, but in a case where it has to do with a mitzvah, yesh le'afar, then you are allowed to be mefer. Because a mitzvah, we can assume that everybody would consent to the same Pesach. There was this Rebbe that used to teach the children. The Adi Rav Ada al das Rabbim. Rav Ada removed him from his position, and he made a neder al das Rabbim that he cannot be brought back, returned to his position. That would pasha be yinoki, because he used to hit the children too much. So he didn't like this. So they removed him from his position, and they made a neder al das Rabbim that he cannot be a Rebbe anymore. The Adi Ravina brought him back, and he brought him back after he mated the neder. Because I didn't find any other Rebbe that was medayik in the lashon so much as this Rebbe, who's such a good Rebbe, even though he hit the children too much. But still, it was more important that the children should learn the halacha and learn how to read properly and learn all the chumash properly. So Melo, they brought him back because this was the mitzvah. So therefore, even though it's al das Rabbim, they still matered it. Yeah.